Let me get up. Cool. All right. Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I know she's like, Happy Friday, everybody. All right. It's time for our live. So I just want to say hi to everybody before we get started. So for those of you who are new, this is your opportunity to connect with me and ask me your questions. You can ask me about your life. You can ask me about connecting with the loved one in spirit. You can even ask me spiritual-based questions. I'm totally open to all of it. All I ask is that you be specific with your question, because any vague or general questions are just going to get skipped because I don't have time to figure out what you want to know. I just need to get to it. So if y'all can be specific with your question, so that way I know what exactly do you want to know or what are you trying to ask me. So that's one. You want to connect with a loved one in spirit. Who do you want to connect with in spirit? My ear might be red, really. I just got back from my walk, so my ears are still cold just because it's really cold here now. It's like in the 40s now, so we're starting to get lower. But let's see, someone's saying that you can't hear me. Can y'all hear me? Just want to make sure y'all can hear me, because someone's saying that y'all can't hear me. So can everybody hear me? I'm seeing the audio, so the audio looks like it's coming through. Yes, okay, cool. I wanted to make sure. I was like, can y'all hear me? Because everything on my end says that y'all can hear me, so y'all might just have to increase your audio. Anyways, back to what I was saying. So, if you want to connect with the loved one in spirit, who do you want to connect with? And I'll try to connect to that person and bring through any information, any signs to look out for, any information that might help you to know that they're with you. If you want to come on camera with me and you want to be on the live, just go over to Instagram, because that's how I connect to people, through the live with video. So, and you just have to request to be a guest. Right at the bottom on Instagram, there's a little like square with like a plus. That's actually a little camera. And if you click that, you can request to be a guest. So just saying it in the comments isn't enough. You need to request it, because that's what I go off of, really, as far as when I'm picking people to want to come on camera or be on camera. Okay. So we have we have got Instagram, we've got YouTube, and we've got Facebook, and I bounce back and forth between the two. And I usually do more like of the comment version of the questions first before I start doing video camera as well. I don't go in any particular order. I try to pick new people every single time I do this, so I try not to stick to the same people that I've read before, just because I want to give enough people who are still new to this to have an opportunity to connect with me or get information as well. For those of you who have never followed me or whatever, if you want to go ahead and follow me, start following me, push follow, click follow. Also, I am doing a raffle, right? So I'm going to start doing a raffle every month. So for the month of November, I'm giving away a free session of your choice. So you can either have a mediumship session, which means connecting with spirit, or you can have a life reading, and that would be me, telling you about the 4 categories in your life and going through a full reading. Or you can have a spiritual guidance and life coaching session with me. So you can pick one of those 3. But regardless, I'm doing one each month. So this month, the raffle's still on. I haven't picked anybody yet. When I pick them, I will post who has been selected, but I need you to do 3 things to be considered, because you have to, if you want to enter to win the free session, you need to do one of 3 things. One is I need you to tag a friend. So someone in the comments, tag a friend. Number 2 is I need you to share this video, share it with your friends, people, page, account, share it with people. And number 3, I need you to sign up with my Dear Ferny newsletter. And you can sign up through my website. If you're on Instagram, you can just go to like the link in my bio, and it should give you a list of everything that I have, and you can sign up for my Dear Ferny. If you don't want to sign up with my Dear Ferny through there, then go to my website, fernandamorone.com, and then go down to Dear Ferny and my newsletter, and then you can sign up through there as well. So that's the 3 things I need you to do. That's it. So that's all I need you to do. So if you want to enter to win the raffle this month, those are the 3 things that I need you to do. All right, so let's get started here. Okay, Charisse. I'm on a break from the guy I was seeing. How long will the break last, and do you see the relationship getting serious? I'm thinking that the break, I'm seeing 2 to 3. So I want to say it's either 2 to 3 weeks or 2 to 3 months. Because I'm seeing 2 to 3, and I'm assuming it's either 2 to 3 weeks or 2 to 3 months. I also feel like the relationship will probably not get serious. I feel like this person's going to end up with somebody else. So I'm going to say I don't think it's going to go to the serious level that you would want it to go to. I do think there's potential, but I just don't feel like the timing's going to be right. And I also see 2 to 3 weeks. So it may take 2 to 3 weeks before y'all are able to interact again. Or 2 to 3, yeah, I'm going to say 2 to 3 weeks or 2 to 3 months. I'm sorry. So that's how long the break is going to be. I'm not thinking it's 2 to 3 days. So I'm thinking it's 2 to 3 weeks or 2 to 3 months. Okay. Let's see. Nanny K86. I'd love to hear from my dad. Okay, so with your dad, the first thing he's acknowledging, I don't know if he was a bit of a drinker, y'all toasted him, but he's almost making a drink or like a toast. So there might be a reference to that. Either y'all toasted him after his passing, or he's just enjoying a drink and he's having a drink. So he's just acknowledging that. Unless he took a drink to his remains and then did something with that. That would be the only other thing they would mean. He also keeps acknowledging, he has shown me the month of October. So October may be connected, or the 10th of a month may be significant. He also keeps acknowledging, it's interesting because I'm almost seeing like I feel like I'm gonna like target practice and shooting a gun. So I don't know if you have a rifle that belonged to your dad, or if he could shoot a rifle, if there's a gun connection to him, or if there's something about shooting something and hitting a target like a bullseye. So the only two things that would make to me that would make sense, if it's not a gun, then it would be like bow and arrow, doing that with dad, or like the darts, you know. So that would be the only other thing that I could think of. But that would be what he's referring to, is like focusing on a target and then shooting or trying to aim at it. And that's how I would interpret that. He also keeps acknowledging, thank you. There might be a reference to a name that sounds similar to Stephen or Stephanie or Steve, because I keep thinking of that name in my head. So that name is connected. So either the name is connected to your dad, is connected to someone he's with in spirit that you would, you can find out through the family, or there's a Steve or Stephen name that is alive, that is immediate family, that he may be making reference, or he's trying to acknowledge and for one reason or another. But that's the name I'm hearing. So I'm assuming it's got one of those two things as well. Your dad is also acknowledging, even though I'm seeing a cross, I'm not sure if this is like a religious cross, like a crucifix, or if this is actually like an X, but I'm seeing something like that as well that is connected. What's interesting is I almost want to put it in a piece of a jewelry, or I want to connect it to like a piece of jewelry. So there might be a piece of jewelry that's got a cross or a crisscross that is connected, that he wants to make reference to as well. Okay. Butterflies are connection also. So look out for the butterflies. Let me go over here. Arzola 418, I'd like to connect with my father, Nelson. Yes, so with your dad, first of all, he's shown me a baby. Now, this can mean one of two things. Either there's a baby that is en route, meaning someone's pregnant, or there's a baby that's been born since his passing, that may be connected to his name, because when you asked about your dad, I kept seeing his name and I almost felt like I wanted to like apply that to somebody else as well. But there may also be that someone just used his name and then there's a baby connected to that. Either that, or there's a baby that's with him that is still connected in the same way. It's just it's with him. But he's acknowledging a baby, so that's where I think he's going with that. He also keeps acknowledging, thank you. Okay, he's taking my attention to my hands for some reason, because he's showing me my palms or my hands. Okay, I'm not sure if he was immobile and he couldn't move his hands or use his hand, or if there was something going on with one of his hands that would make it harder for him to be able to use it. But he's doing something with my hand because he's trying to bring my attention here. So there's something here he's making reference to. Either that, or you have a tattoo right here in your palm. But I feel like there's something there because he brought my attention to my hands and he was trying to get me to like focus on that. So I'm thinking that's what it means. He also keeps acknowledging the month of September. So September might be connected, or the 9th of a month may be connected, because he's showing me that month as well. He is also acknowledging a picture of him, or an image, and I'm seeing like a white colored rose or a rose next to it. So I don't know if you have a picture and you've got a rose next to it, or there's a white colored rose or flower that's connected to your dad in a picture of some sort, because he's showing me something like that. It could also be him in front of roses in a picture, but just FYI with that. Let's go over here. Yeah, Melanie from the UK, mom or dad? Yes. Let's go with mom for a second. Your mother. It's funny because I feel like your mother, I don't know if she was an impatient person or she just liked things on time, because she's like almost bringing my attention to like the desire to want to be on time, or like that's like she's doing this. So I don't know if she was that kind of a personality, but she's like making me feel this way. She also keeps acknowledging a little bit of discomfort in her chest area, and I almost want to go down to her respiratory system, her lungs. So I'm not sure if there was an impact or an effect on her respiratory system, or her lungs were giving her some issue because she's bringing me here. I also feel like there might be a reference to having a little bit of fluid, or there being like a congestion where I kind of feel like I need to cough something up, because she's making me feel this way as well. She also keeps acknowledging, thank you, she is showing me 11, so the 11th of a month may be connected, or the month of November may be connected. She also keeps acknowledging, thank you, there may also be an image of her with a sweater on, and I feel like the color of the sweater is almost similar. I don't know, if you look at my Buddha back there, you see the Buddha? It's almost similar to that kind of coloring. It's got a little bit of like a bluey, greeny color to it, but she's showing me a sweater or a picture of her wearing something on that has a very similar color to that, because she's acknowledging that as well. She also keeps acknowledging, thank you. I don't know if you still have her glasses, but I feel like she's showing me her glasses. So I want to say that you either have her glasses, or she might be wearing glasses in that picture. But I'm thinking she's acknowledging glasses. So you may have frames or glasses that still belong to her as well. Also, ladybugs are a sign from her, so look out for the ladybug. She's with your father, by the way. So their father is there. So just letting you know that your father is also with her in spirit. Leanne Stockham, do you see me landing a job soon, and who in spirit do I have with me, please? So you've got like 5 people with you. There's 3 females and 2 males that I'm picking up on already. So you got a few people with you in spirit. As far as the job is concerned, when do you see me landing a job? I want to say you'll land a job in about 6 weeks. So give it about 6 weeks, and I think you'll land something. I also think you'll have a choice of 2 different positions within that same organization, or 2 jobs that come up as options right around that time. But I want to say that there's 2, but it's about 6 weeks. So I'll give it about 6 weeks. Elizabeth Forster, will I ever find true love? So I'm going to make some recommendations here. You're not going to like it. So be prepared to hate me after this, and that's okay. I don't need you to like me. I just need you to hear me out so that you can get your love, right? I think that there's a couple of issues here. One is, I think the expectation that you have for love, or how love should be, is off in your head. And you need to like do some course correction in your head with that, because I think that's getting in the way of you actually allowing people into your life that might actually be a healthy like love option for you. That's one. And I think part of this has to do with recovering yourself from past experiences where you've just been disappointed or heartbroken. So I think that's one. And I think working on those expectations will help you. I would actually recommend you, there's a really good, I don't even know if that's the book that I would recommend. Actually, I recommend The Secret. I think you should watch the film The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, because I think you need to understand how mindset and thoughts have such great power, and people don't realize that they're actually getting in the way of what they want. So that's one. 2 is, I don't feel like you're doing enough to actually connect or meet people. Even if you've got an app or whatever, I still don't think it's enough. I feel like you need to be a lot more engaging with people, so that instead of like it waiting for it to come to you, or you just randomly meet a person, you can just throw yourself into situations where you're actually meeting new people and connecting with people on a regular basis. So that means you signing up for a cooking class, go do it. If that means you going and doing painting with a twist and talking to everybody there, so be it. And even if there's not a person there that you would date, that they may have a brother, they may have a friend, and they say, hey, I got somebody you can date. Like that's, you got to think that way, because you have an expectation for how it's supposed to show up and how it's supposed to look like, and you got to drop that. A third thing that I would recommend or suggest is, I think that you need to change your type. And what I mean by that is, if someone's like, I always drink Coca-Cola, and I won't take anything other than Coca-Cola. So if it's not Coca-Cola, I don't want it. And I'm going to tell you this might be Dr. Pepper. So I'm going to need you to like be okay with being open to something that's outside of what you would prefer or what you normally are drawn to. So that's the third thing that I'm going to recommend, is you need to change your type, and intentionally change your type. So that doesn't mean that you need to go and look for someone that you're obviously not attracted to and that you're actually offended by and then force yourself to date them. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, if you prefer someone with blue eyes, Go and date somebody with dark eyes and get over it. Like, that's what I mean by that. And I'm not saying that's how you are, but I'm saying the type you're used to is the problem. And so I think all of that kind of comes into play here, because at the end of the day, if I am attracted to a hardcore baller who is a tough ass, but he also has a lot of issues and he keeps messing up and getting in trouble with the law, I'm not really going to have a pleasant experience with that. It's going to work against me. So I probably need to focus on people who are not ending up in jail every 5 months, right? That's the mindset. So what I'm saying to you is change your type, because I feel like the type you're drawn to or you're bringing to you is not working for you, and you think you need to change it. Change expectations, work on that, change your mindset, and then, change your type. And I think that will help you to let the universe know that you're serious, and that way the universe is like, she's willing to drink something other than Coca-Cola. Let's bring her a different drink that is just as good as not better, and then you might actually like it more. So that's what I would recommend. But to answer your question, because you're like, Ferny, I didn't ask you for advice. I just want you to answer my question. No, when you asked Ferny for the answer, you also included me in that response. And this is me telling you, you need to work on those things, okay? With that being said, to answer your question, I do think you have an opportunity that comes up around 2 years and 3 months, 2 years and 2 months, around there. And I want to say that this is someone that you're probably going to end up meeting at a sports event, or at like a sports field, or a place where like kids would play. Because I keep seeing like where kids are playing like baseball or something like that. So if you ever get offered or invited to something like that, go do it, because you might meet somebody through that option. But there's also an ex or someone you've already been involved with that may try to show back up in your life later next year. Don't get desperate enough, or don't feel like suddenly that can change. I just don't think it's going to go anywhere. So just be prepared for that in case it shows up next year, okay? Guys, if you want to talk to someone in spirit, tell me. Like, I need to know who you want me to try to connect to, because opening it up to whomever is going to take too much time, and I don't have you on the camera to figure out who this person is that's going to come through. You're going on the assumption that I know all and see all, and that I know exactly who's coming through and every single detail about it. It does not work that way, y'all. I'm sorry to break your heart or to disappoint you. It just doesn't work that way. I have to get it in bits and pieces, and if you're not live on camera, it's going to be harder to figure out who's trying to come through if it's just open to whoever. But if you have a specific person in mind you want to connect to, I automatically assume I'm talking to that person. And if it's that person, the information I come through with is going to match up, or is going to sync to that person. So y'all know how this works, okay? I have to like re-educate people on like the way psychic ability works, the way mediumship works, because there's just a lot of misunderstanding about the process. And Karen Jo Mulroy. It's been a while. Will I receive my money this year? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say probably not this year. I keep seeing 7 in my head. So I'm gonna say this is either, I'm gonna say 7 in my head. So that either means 7 weeks, which would take us into January, or 7 months, which would take us into spring. So be prepared, because I am seeing it, but I don't think it's going to come as quickly as you would prefer, okay? Now, if you get it on the 7th, then please let me know, because that's happened sometimes. I had a client once. This is what happens sometimes when you're doing readings for people and you're really precise. They expect it every single time, and it's like, oh, it's kind of hard to give you numbers like that. A client, and she was like, I put in an offer to this company and I'm waiting to hear back. When do you think I'm going to hear back? And I was like, I feel like you're going to hear back on the 24th. And it was a month away. And sure enough, she heard back on the 24th of the next month, and she was like, you got it. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm glad I was precise. But then after that, she expected me to like spit the numbers out like that. I was like, girl, ain't gonna happen. It's not as easy to be as consistent with those precise details, because it's just something that pops into your head and you either get it or you don't. Yes, Jessica Hodges. Hi, Ferny. Would really love any message for my husband, Lee. Yes. So he is acknowledging a date of significance within 30 days. So either there is a birthday, anniversary date, death date, there's something significant within 30 days, backwards or forwards. So he's acknowledging that. He's also acknowledging, thank you. Actually, there might be 2 dates, but the other one is a little bit past the 30-day mark. So there might actually be 2 dates of significance, but one of them is within a 30-day period. So that's how I want to describe it. He's also acknowledging, he's showing me a necklace, and I almost feel like I'm seeing a heart as well. So I don't know if this is a heart locket with something inside, or if this is something that's heart-shaped that is connected to him, but I'm almost seeing a heart. Sometimes hearts also represent heart attacks for me, but I want to say this is more of a necklace thing that I'm thinking about. So that's how I want to describe it. He also keeps acknowledging, I don't know if y'all used to play a card game, like, remember Uno? Like Uno? I don't know if there's an Uno card game, or if this is just playing cards that he's making reference to. That was a thing. So he's acknowledging that as well. He also keeps acknowledging that he does send cardinals and he does send cardinals to you, but he also is sending hummingbirds. So hummingbirds are maybe a sign from him as well. He also is acknowledging a stuffed animal that almost reminds me of like a polar bear or a bear of some sort. But I don't know if it's yours or if it's just something y'all had that y'all still have. So there's something there. Well, no, I don't think it's it. I think I'm misinterpreting that. It might actually be a custom bear, like whenever someone is taking something and putting it together and making a custom bear out of like shirts and stuff. It may actually be that. It may not actually be like another bear. Because I saw this like white bear, polar bear, saw a bed, and I was like, okay, is that what I'm seeing? And then he switched it up, and then he was showing me patches like a panda bear, and I was like, okay, what am I seeing? Am I seeing a polar bear or a panda bear? And then he switched it up again, and he was showing me something that was more custom, and I was like, okay, there's something more to this, and I'm missing it. If it's not a bear, it's a pillow that's still piecemeal together like that, but it's a stuffed thing that may be connected to a bed, or a stuffed animal that is piecemeal that may be connected to him as well. So there's a reference there also. June is also significant because he just showed me the month of June. So I'm going to say June is significant, or the 5th or the 6th of a month is also connected. Okay. Let's bring somebody on, shall we? Let's bring somebody on. Let's go here. Hello.
Hi, Ferny.
Hi, sweetheart. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm wonderful. I'm excited. Like Thanksgiving's 1 week away, and I'm off for the week of it. So I'm like excited. So, and I'm gonna make 2 stuffings this year. I'm gonna make like my cousin's dressing because I love her dressing and I miss it. And it's been a few years. And then I'm gonna make the traditional, which is my partner's mom's dressing, because that's my favorite. So yeah.
Oh,
Anyways, I'm going on a rant. But, hi, Mama. Hi. All right. Well, what do you want to ask about?
I wanted to ask, well, my question was, if you've seen, I know we've had like a session a while back, but, and I asked about my future husband, but, I don't know if it was like, I never really kind of got a name, and I wanted to know if you knew when I would meet him, where, and then I also had questions about, I know you talk a lot about spirit guides, if you, who are my spirit guides? I always thought they were like people that you love passed on. I always think that one of them might have been my grandma, but maybe it's somebody completely different, or I don't know. How does that work?
Yeah. So with the person's name, I want to say it starts with a J, like Jonathan or Joseph.
Jonathan or Joseph.
Yeah, it's got a name like that. I feel like you're gonna end up calling them Joe or Joey or Jojo. So there's a like short name, but I feel like I want to call it, but it's like a long Joe name or Joe.
Okay.
Okay. As far as the spirit guides, so people always think that a spirit guide is your loved ones in spirit who are guiding you in life. But if your grandmother's your spirit guide and your grandmother was alive when you were alive, there's got to be somebody there from the beginning of your life. How can they possibly be your spirit guide? So this is the logic part of it. But what happens is, before we come into life, we have goals on a soul level that we want to achieve while we're here in this physical world. It's almost like if I'm going to start in a movie, there are lines and parts that I want to play. And so it's the same thing. If you're going to live this movie of life, there are parts and things you want to be a part of, you want to play a role with. So you plan it all out, and it's a majority, big moments are planned out, and significant moments of experience are planned out, but there's still a lot of leeway if like whatever happens. And once you're down here, all bets are off. You get to do whatever you want. But there is a goal that you have for your life. Your spirit guide is your guidance counselor or your course worker, where you're their case. You're like, okay, this is my case. I've been working with her since the beginning. So your spirit guide is someone that's been there. It's a spirit being as well. It's just like a person like you and I. It's someone who they got some credits they need to get done, and your life might help them get some of those credits because they didn't get it while they were in life, but they don't want to really go through another incarnation. So they're like, I'm gonna piggyback on your experience so I can get what I need from my experience. So they're with you from the beginning to the end. They plan it all with you. And then if you think you're like really up for a lot, you're like, yeah, give me this and give me that, and make sure my husband's a complete ass because I want to get strong and tough. And like you have all these goals, and your spirit guide's like, are you sure you want to take all that all in one lifetime? Because that's a lot, right? So your guide is just there to kind of keep you on course, but it's the voice of conscious in your head. So that voice is always telling you, are you sure you want to trust her? Are you sure you want to turn on that light? You might want to go check your door. It might not be locked. That voice, there's an inner voice that sounds like ours that is actually a guide in many instances. And so they're always there. They know everything you're going through. They're with you through the moments when you're using the bathroom, wiping your butt. And they're also in the moments where you're giving birth, where you're having sex. They're with you every step of the way. And so for them, our experience, it doesn't matter. They're like, they don't care. But that's our guide. And so we all have at least one main guide. Even the people who are so like, they've dug themselves into a spiritual hole where they no longer even listen to God or to their higher source or to their higher guidance, they still have guides. And they always have the choice to either choose to go with what is planned for them or to choose to go against it. And the people who go against it are the ones who run into problems because they're going against themselves in essence, because that's the guide's job, is just to help you with your job. So that's what a guide is. Most guides are not family members. Now, we do have guides who have been with us from prior lifetimes. So some people's guides may actually be like loved ones from lifetimes before or friends in the spirit world. You can go like that, but it's usually not a loved one that we've known in that lifetime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
People think that loved ones are spirit guides, and that's usually not the case. It happens every now and then. It's rare, but it's usually not the case. People would think that spirit guides and angels are the same thing. They're not the same thing. They're two very different forms of energy. But people like to refer to them. So they say, who are my angels? I'm like, what do you mean, who are your angels? They're just beings that represent love and light, and they're reflected or represented by these winged beings that we've seen and heard about. Yeah, but what are the names? I'm like, well, they don't really have names. Now, we've given them names. We've got all the archangel names and everything, but they are not people like you and I. They're just beings of light and love. That's all they are. And they represent that type of unconditional love and bond. And our guides are personalities, like we are personalities, but they exist on a soul level working with us on that side.
Oh, okay.
You know the name of your guide?
No, I want to know the name of my guide.
I wanna say the name of your spirit guide is like like Shelly or Sheila. So I feel like the name of your guide is like a Shelly or Sheila.
Oh, okay. Do I have more than one, or is it just one?
Some people have more than one, yeah. Some people have more than one, but we have one main guide through the beginning to the end, and then there's another guide that may come in from time to time that is going to help us with something. Like if I'm trying to learn how to be a good mother and I have a bunch of kids and I'm trying to work through the struggle, I may bring on a guide, a woman who actually lived a life where she had 12 kids and she knew how to do that well, but she never got a chance to spend enough time with each child because she was so busy with all her responsibilities. So your life and you having a child and wanting to devote so much time to one child, this person may come in, act as your guide, help you through the process of handling motherhood while you're helping her on her end, learning how to have a very focused experience with one child. So that's how we help each other out, and it's a switch off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just curious because like I said, for some reason I thought maybe it'd be somebody that passed on, but you explained it because this Sunday, my grandmother, it's her anniversary when she passed, and sometimes I could think that maybe she's, guide. I know she's always with me, but
well, yeah, our loved ones care. I mean, you have to remember, our loved ones, once they check out of the physical body, they realize that we were never even in danger here. We are all actors in a play, and we don't even realize it because we're so caught up in the role. So they realize that once they check out of life, and they're like, oh, it's not. They don't even realize they're acting. Oh my God. It's all been a play. It's all been like this movie. We're all like actors in this movie. We didn't even realize it. We're like all caught up in. So we realize things on that side. So, but our loved ones still love us. They still care for us, but they don't have to worry about us because again, they realize the situation. They can also see our future. They can also see our past, so they know what's coming. They just don't have the ability to protect or keep us from things we're supposed to go through and meant to go through in this life. But your grandmother's with you. Ladybugs are a sign from her, so look out for ladybugs. Also, butterflies and tattoo butterflies are going to be a sign also, so look out for those as well. So if you have someone who's got your grandmother's name and she just happens to have a tattoo butterfly, that's a sign from your grandmother, so look out for that as well. Okay,
Oh,
she smells
okay.
like roses, so you might smell floral or flowers sometimes, and that's going to also be her.
Oh, okay, okay.
When is she having kids? She needs
Oh,
kids.
how funny. 2 years. Give it 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me get going because they're going to kill me. All right.
All right, thank
All
you,
right,
Ferny.
sweetheart. Y'all take
Thank
care.
you. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Let's go on to the next person. And this is Arquila Contreras. Fernie, will I have another child? I'm seeing the number 4. I don't know how many children you currently have. However, if you only have like one, then get ready because you're going to end up with 3 more children in your life. If you already have 5, then you're over 1 and you've already gone over your limit. But I'm seeing 4. So I'm thinking you're going to have up to 4 children in your life. So be prepared for that. Okay. And by the way, guys, if you want to join, you have to request it right down here. There's a little button there for y'all. Y'all want
Hi.
to request it. Hi, sweetheart. How you
Hi.
doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. What do you want to ask me about?
I'm trying to get approved for a weight loss surgery,
Mm-hmm.
and my husband is active duty, so insurance is kind of a struggle. So I was kind of wondering if there was any insight on that or when it would happen.
Yeah, I'm actually seeing the 21st and the 27th. So what I'm going to say is, I think that you might. What is today? Today's the 12th. I'm going to say that. Let's see. Do you have to wait a week or 2 to hear back?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you might hear something on the 21st, and then you might actually have to follow. Well, I don't know how the process works, but I feel like you'll hear something back on the 21st or around that time. And then I want to say that on the 27th, you actually get a final like approval, but you're going to still have to follow up with the doctor for 2 or 3 months before you actually have a procedure. I do see you having the procedure right away. It's going to be next year though.
Okay. And then do you have any messages for my husband's Uncle Kevin?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The first thing he's showing me, do you know if he likes barbecue or he liked to grill?
Yeah, they
Okay.
smoke meat a lot.
Perfect, because I'm like, he was holding up like a brisket in his hand with the pick, and I was smelling barbecue in the grill, and I was like, oh my god! So he's doing this. So he's acknowledging this whole vibe around him. He's also showing me a cap. Do you know if he had a fisherman's cap or like a fish on a cap or a hat?
Yes. No. Yeah.
Okay,
My
because he's showing
husband
me
is
this.
tearing up.
That's okay. There may also be a picture of him doing this because he's acknowledging this. Do you know if they actually would go fishing, or he also had a thing for fishing?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a big thing.
Perfect. He says heavens like fishing, and he says he's got a fishing line waiting for him. He also says, thank you.
It's okay.
He says you're doing good, so to let him know that he's doing good. He also said he just did this, which I think yesterday was Veterans Day. He said he just did this, so he saluted. So he's just acknowledging that. But he is with them. He also says to look out for the white owl or the owl bird that might show up, and it's a sign from him.
Babe, the owl.
It's my grandmother.
My husband's upset.
That's
Thank
okay.
you.
No, that's okay. Yeah, they're with you. They're with you, sweetheart.
I've been catching an owl on our camera.
Perfect. That was a sign from the uncle letting you know he's around.
Awesome. It's
All
okay,
right,
babe.
sweetheart. Yeah, take care of yourself, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome, darling.
Bye.
All right, let's see. Going to the next person. Let's see here. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, sweetheart. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. What do you
Good.
want to ask? You know what? There's children all around you. Just so you know, there's children all around because I'm seeing a child flying around your head. Question: do you know if there's a child that was miscarried, lost, or terminated, or if you're trying to get pregnant right now?
Hang on, because it
Sure.
volume is weird.
You're fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm seeing.
My
I'm seeing a
sister right now.
Okay, got it. Because I was seeing a child flying around your head, and I'm like, what's going on here? So this either meant to me that there's
Oh,
a child in spirit that's trying to get your attention, or there's a child on the way that's about to be coming in. So
oh
your sister's
yeah, my
pregnant.
sister. Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. So
Yeah.
did she have a miscarriage before, or did she lose a child before, or termination before?
Not that I know of. I know
Okay,
that she's like she had issues in that area with getting
okay.
pregnant. This baby was kind of unexpected.
Here's what
So,
I'm going to say. Either this
mm,
is a return of a former child's soul, or this is
mm.
supposed to happen because this child's flying around, and I'm almost seeing like wings around this child. So I want to say this is actually an intentional, like this child was supposed to be born, so for her to have faith in the
Oh,
process. So that's what I would say
oh,
about it.
okay.
However, just because they got angel wings and spirit don't mean that's what they're gonna be like in life.
Oh,
So she may need to prepare herself because she's about to be
okay.
put through it, okay?
Yeah.
With the
I'm gonna see
personality of
her
this
this
child.
weekend, so I'll definitely tell her.
Cool. What do you want to ask me about?
I wanted to ask, so I've been trying to find like a new career, and I
Mm-hmm.
think I found the path that I want to go on.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just not sure when it's gonna like take off, or I'm concerned about should I leave my job and mainly focus on this, and I'm not sure if I should
So what
yet.
I'm seeing around you, it's interesting because I was also seeing this with the child part as well, and I was trying to figure out if this was actually me. I kept seeing you with children. Here's what I'm gonna say.
Mm,
I feel like the area of work you're gonna go into. Here's the thing, because you might have different ideas, and you might want to do something where it's more of a moneymaker or more of a focus on like building wealth or building like prosperity on that level. What
yeah.
I'm thinking is that you're gonna end up having work that's gonna be involved. It's gonna include 3 or 4 elements. There's a social kind of work that's involved with it. I am seeing younger people or younger minds. I'm also seeing legal or law, and then I also am seeing administrative, and I want to throw that all together. So I feel like
Mm,
whatever you end up doing in a professional way in the future is going to have all those pieces together, but you might try to go in the direction where you're just going to try to make money or have something where it's like a business. What are you
yeah.
wanting to go into?
I wanted to write, become a writer and
I mean, right?
self-publish all
Yeah.
my own books.
Yeah, go for it. I would say go for it, but I think that that is something that if you start going in that direction, just be prepared. It's going to turn into a lot more than just writing,
Hmm.
because it does, in my opinion, it doesn't matter what you do. You're going to end up doing what I'm saying you're going to do. And so I feel like if you start writing, it's going to evolve into this whole other game there. That's going to be,
Hmm.
that's why with the teaching part of it, I think you're going to write, you're going to be working with younger people at some point, teaching and also giving them an idea of what you can, of how things work. The legal part was the contracts and working on the agreements. So there's something there.
Okay.
So I would say pursue it.
Okay.
But here's what I would say. Be smart about it, strategic about it. Don't just like, I'm going to quit my job and this is going to blow up
Yeah.
and become something. No, I would say plan this out. Plan it
Okay.
out. I'm going to ask you a question.
Hmm.
If you have to work a job for 5 years to support your passion for it to become something, are you willing to commit to that path?
Mm. It
There you go. You don't
depends
want it
on the
enough.
job.
You don't want it enough. So I'm going to tell you, it took me 4 or 5 years to get off my butt and start to
Hmm.
pursue this full time, but
Hmm.
it needed to be the right time. And then once the time was right, it took me 1 year to go from Starbucks to this and to be on the same level. So I feel like it's
Okay.
going to take another 4 or 5 years to develop into what you're looking for. Even if it's going to take some time, don't see it as like, I want it tomorrow. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
This is
I can
all.
be
This is not
impatient.
about. This is not about being successful. This is about being good. There's a difference between
Okay.
being good and being successful. You got people who are flashes in the pan. They,
Hmm.
look at Ricky Martin. Where's Ricky Martin? Ricky Martin was like famous for like 2 hot minutes, and then he disappeared. Ain't really done much. And so,
Yeah.
do you want to be that, or do you want to be like, like a Lady Gaga, like a Beyonce, where they're still
Yeah.
timeless and it's still ongoing?
Right.
So it's about being
Okay.
good, not just about being successful.
Okay.
But you'll
Well,
teach
thank
it,
you.
and there'll be social something associated with it, because you're not just going to write about anything. You're going to write about
Yeah.
stuff that matters, and you're going to like kind of dig into the thing with people.
Okay. And I
Okay.
have one more question. Did you have any messages from my mom?
Yeah, your mom. She's doing something. She's actually showing me. Do you have a picture of her wearing like a white thing wrapped around her neck, or this white like fabric around her neck?
Mm,
It's almost like I'm
I,
seeing it. Like it's almost like a turtle. It's either like a white turtleneck or like a turtleneck that's got like a coloring or something that's like a fabric that goes around her neck like this. Because she's showing me this, and I want to
mhm.
say either a fabric like this that she's got a picture with, or there's a turtleneck picture that she's referring to. Do you know of anything
Yes,
like that?
yes,
Okay,
yes,
perfect.
there is. Yeah.
Got it. So she's acknowledging that. She also keeps
Okay.
acknowledging thank you. Is there a Tata or Tete or TT nickname reference?
My aunt's name is Natea,
Do you
who
know if she
passed
calls her?
away.
Okay. Find out the nickname because she might be trying to tell you that she's with her sister. Is this her sister?
Yes, her
Okay.
sister. Yeah.
She might be trying
Oh,
to tell
she's
you
with.
the sister, and she's trying to give me the nickname of the sister. So you might want
Okay.
to look up. You might want to look up. I mean, ask the family because they might be able to give you that. Your mom is also showing me a. She showed me a rainbow in the sky. Rainbows are going to be a sign from your mama, so to look out for the
Okay.
rainbows as well. She also is appreciative of what you. Thank you. Did you actually write? I mean, assuming you could assume you wrote something, but did you actually write two separate things around your mom?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
Okay, because she showed me the
Yeah.
two things that were written, not just one, but two. That, and she's thinking you were appreciative of this as well.
Oh.
Your mom, it's interesting because I almost feel like, in a way, her standards for herself or her expectations for herself, it's almost like she didn't give herself room. But at the same time, people on the outside might think that she did a good job or she did fine, but she may not have thought she did enough. And so she's almost
Yeah.
acknowledging this and just apologizing for it. I'm telling her she doesn't have to, but she still wants to. So she's just coming across now.
She's apologized. It seemed like she wanted to ask me something. She came to one of my dreams before, and she kept asking me, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And I didn't know why that happened and
Yeah,
what
I
she was
think
trying to
that
ask.
yeah, I think she feels bad because she wasn't in her mind or from her perspective, she felt like she didn't do enough or wasn't able to do enough. But from y'all's
Mm,
perspective, y'all may have felt like she did fine. So it's
yeah.
almost like her, but it's her standards or her expectations. She also says
Okay.
proud of you. She also says that she said be smart, be smart. I was like, okay, so be smart. So she's telling you to be smart. Also, do you have a glass set or a crystal set that's connected to mom?
Mm,
These almost look
I'm
like
not.
these kind of glasses that you would drink. I almost feel like you would drink like tea in or lemonade in. It's got these like glass, but it's got like these little like pictures on the outside or these like etchings on the outside. Do you know of anything
I
like that you'll have that is
I
mom's?
got her a cup, a mug.
Oh,
That was a glass mug. It was from a place in Boston. It was a show that she used to watch, and I had picked that up for her just when I was out there.
oh,
But it was
cool.
a
Okay,
glass mug.
perfect. Do you have the glass mug?
I don't know. I don't have it.
Here's it. Don't be surprised if this shows up somehow.
Okay.
Okay, just don't be surprised if it shows up somehow.
Okay.
Okay. All right,
All
sweetheart.
right.
Well, you
Thank
take care.
you.
You're welcome, sweetheart. Your mom's happy about the baby, by the way, so she's excited
Oh,
about
I know she is.
it. All right, sweetheart. You take care of yourself.
You too.
Bye, sweetheart.
Bye.
All right, let's see. Go in next. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Hello.
I'm so glad you picked me. Thank you,
Oh,
thank you,
yay.
thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Hi. I've been
All right.
joining all your lives and I've
Aw.
been learning so much from your study group. And I know I ask 1,000 questions all the time.
Oh
So
no, I love the question. I wish people would ask more questions because I love the just the complexity and the different types of questions because it opens up the conversation to other things and I love that. I could talk all day if I had the time and the energy to do it. So what do you want to ask me about?
so can you please connect with my dad?
Mhm.
Um, I know you connected with him once and I signed up for a session with you, but it's not
Oh,
for like
cool.
5 months from now because you're still
Yeah,
booked.
I know. People are like,
Um,
they're like, yeah, this one lady, she purchased a gift card and then she tried to make her own appointment and she's like, this isn't available till next year. That doesn't work for me. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm only one person. Like, I'm sorry that I'm doing well with what I offer here. So whatever. But okay, let me get back to you because I'm going on around here. All right, so coming back to you. Um, Dad, so the first thing I want to acknowledge is he's ringing a bell. Question: do you have any bells or charms like that, or um, what I'm thinking of, which is why I'm going in this direction? There was another lady that I read once on the live, interesting enough. Her grandmother had told her, look out for little jingle bells like for like Christmas, to look out for those. And then right after we got off the live, she was in the middle of like moving some lawn stuff, and underneath the lawn stuff there was a little jingle bell. And so that happened right after the live. So do you know if there's like a bell or a charm or a chime that is connected to your father, or is that a representative of your dad? Okay. Remember that I said that because I'm seeing this little bell and I don't know what this is. So I want to call it like a little bell type of thing. So that's one thing. He also keeps it, no, thank you. He's showing me the number 5. Do you know if the 5th of a month is significant or the month of May is connected? If it's not the 5th, it's the 15th. Okay, he's showing me the 5. So the 5th of a month is connected, or the 15th, or the month of May. So just remember that I said that. He also keeps acknowledging, thank you. He also keeps acknowledging, okay, he's doing this. So he's kind of squeezing this on my side here. Question, do you know if there was, I would say this might mean 2 things. Do you know if there was either an effect on his circulation, the blood circulating through his body or to his brain? Oh, I can barely hear you. I think you might be covering up. Nah.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yes,
Okay, great. So basically what happened is he got COVID, and within like...
That's why. That's it. That's it. Because he was squeezing this, and I was trying to figure out if he was talking about choking, like I can't breathe and I feel like I'm choking, or if he was talking about the blood flow to his brain, and I was trying to figure that out. So that's probably what he was referring to, because that was like trying to figure that out. So and then also he was making I almost felt like I had like something covering my mouth, and he was like doing this, like I can't breathe, or something was covering my mouth. So that may be what he was referring to, but he is still acknowledging the blood circulation was not happening as well. Do you ever remember the discoloring of his hands, or the discoloration of his fingers?
Fingers were fine.
Okay, because he's making the skin color change. So that to me represents a low oxygen level as well, or like there was some discoloration that was starting to happen with some of his extremities. He's making reference to this. What's interesting is he's taking me out of the hospital. Did he actually come out of the hospital after he got sick?
No, he passed away there.
Okay, here's what he's showing me. He's showing me a situation where I go to the hospital, I get some sort of treatment, or think that I think I got this treated or something, but then I have to go back. Did he have to go more than once, or did he try to go and then he left and then he went back?
It was very quick. Like we took him to the hospital because he just wasn't doing very well, and then like it was downhill so fast.
No, that's not.
Yeah, super
Let me see. I want to say this is something. There's something there. I want to say there might be more than one person trying to pop in or trying to communicate.
I passed away too.
The what?
My grandma passed away too. I don't know if you know.
Do you know if there was an effect on her heart, or her blood pressure?
She had a heart attack.
That's it. Okay. Here's what's going on. I think I got your dad, and I think I got your grandmother. So remember what I was saying earlier about the clang with the bell and the jingle bell or whatever? That was from her grandmother. So do you know if there's a bell or a wind chime or a jingle like bracelet that's connected to grandma?
No, there's no bells or jewelry or anything like that I can think of. No wind.
Okay.
Nothing.
No worries. Just remember that I said that. So let's associate that with grandma, because I'm thinking what's going on is we have both of them trying to come in, and your dad was wanting to talk, but your grandma was like, I'm going to make my presence known. Okay. So your grandmother's acknowledging this bell, wind chime, or bracelet, or dingly. It feels like it's a dingly. I keep thinking of that chime. So there's a reference there. She's acknowledging the heart condition and the blood flow, the circulation. And so if she had a heart attack, that would make sense to me. Yeah. Do you know if she went once and then she got something treated, or she thought it was gone and then she went back again, or had to go, or it was the second time that was?
Yeah, the day she got released, I was in school, and she got a heart attack right in the driveway when she pulled up.
That's it. So your grandma's wanted to say, so she has to say hello to you. So she wanted to make sure she had to say hello to you. She's the one that also gave me that 5 or 15 number. Do you know the 5th of a month, the month of May, or the 15th of a month is connected to grandma?
Oh, just Mother's Day. We were always with her. That's all.
No, there's another one. So I'll leave it with you, and you might have to ask. There's a 5, so the 5th of a month, the month of May, or the 15th, because that's where I would go with grandma. So that's connected to grandma. She also keeps, thank you, she's blowing you kisses. So she's like really wanting to blow you kisses. So she's like blowing you kisses. She's the bird symbol. So bird is connected to your grandma. So if you have experiences with birds and feathers, that's going to be coming from your grandmother, because she's acknowledging that. Okay. Now let me see if I can get dad enough, because your dad kind of let your grandmother like hijack his stuff, and he was trying to give me, so he was acknowledging the feeling of like something over his mouth, and I couldn't breathe, and I felt like I was choking. So that's probably where that was coming from, with the choking sensation. He also keeps acknowledging, thank you. Now he's acknowledging the 7. So do you know if there's a 7 connection to your dad, the month of July, or the 7th of a month?
No,
Okay. Do you know there's a birthday on the month of July or the 7th of a month?
not in July. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna leave that with you. There's a 7 connection or a July connection. So either it's the month of July or the 7th of a month is somehow connected, because he's making reference to that as being significant. He also keeps acknowledging and repeating his name twice. Is there another person in your family or another person that's got your dad's name?
Yes, my brother is Christopher. My dad was Michael Christopher. So
Okay, so got it. So he's acknowledging the duplicate name in the family. Perfect. Perfect. So he's acknowledging that. He also keeps acknowledging, thank you. Did y'all do more of a celebration of life thing for dad instead of an actual like typical funeral?
No, it was a Greek Orthodox funeral.
Okay. I'm hearing music, which is why I'm trying to figure out why I'm hearing music. And what I was hearing, I'm almost hearing violins, but I'm trying to figure out the string music. Do you know if there's a string music or a violin sounding song or music that was played for him?
No, we didn't play any music.
Okay, there's something about this string. There's something about this string music thing that they're making reference to. I'm assuming this is coming from your dad. Yeah. I'm not going to put it past that it could be grandma connected, but I'm still going to say maybe this is still dad, because I'm hearing this is a violin. I don't see violins very often. Do you know if someone played violins or if there was a violin player in the family?
I did when I was little, and my mom's father was in the orchestra at the symphony.
Oh, okay. Got it. And he's also passed, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Perfect. You got a whole bunch of people coming through. So you got, because I was like, I'm hearing like violin, because I have an uncle who played the violin.
Yeah.
And I tried to learn. I could never figure it out, but
it's hard.
Beautiful. Yeah. And I was seeing like when you look at music videos and you see someone in the background, I'm like, I'm seeing that. I know this is a violin. So they're acknowledging the violin playing, the connection to the family with the violins. So that's what they're making reference to. Your dad says he's proud of you. He also says, even though he says he wouldn't wish this on anyone, so he is not downplaying that this was definitely a challenging experience and a painful experience. But he says that once he let go, he says the amount of freedom he felt was insane, that he did not expect that. He did not expect to feel the way he felt after he passed. So he's acknowledging that. He also says that if I could give you a feeling of the happiness that I felt, I would rather come back to life and let you feel it instead. So it's almost like he would rather have y'all feel what he is feeling versus him be there and y'all still deal with the life stuff. He's also acknowledging, thank you. Do you know, thank you. Do you know if your dad ever spent some time on a boat, or if there's a boat memory with dad?
He grew up in Greece, so he grew up on the coast.
Oh, God. Do you know if he ever worked as a fisher, or he ever did anything with the boats going back and forth?
His dad was a fisherman.
Yeah. So he says that his heaven is like the place in Greece that he's referring to. So he's acknowledging that. He also says there's not as many people. So I don't know if he was like, it's too many people now, and before it wasn't as many, but he's acknowledging there's not as many people there. So he's acknowledging that as well. He also keeps showing me a compass. Do you know if there's a compass connected to your father, or if there's a thing that has north, south, east, and west connected to your dad?
No.
It's like if I were going to be on a ship, or if I were going to be trying to figure out which direction the stars were, it almost feels like it's something to do with the way you would find a star or a compass.
Okay. I'll look into that, but
yeah. Because it's almost like when I'm, I don't think it's round. I don't think it's round. I mean, it might be round, but it's got like a round. It's almost like one of those things that opens, but it's got a compass. But this is not the same thing. But he's showing me that as a reference. So there's something like that he may be acknowledging, or you have something of his that has north, south, east, and west on it, because he's acknowledging that as well. He also keeps acknowledging. There's a Bumbe. He's trying to give me a nickname, and I want to say it's like Bumbo or Bambi. I'm thinking of Bambi, but I don't feel like that's it. It's like Bambo or Bambi or Bamboo sounding.
Pebbles. That's our dog. Well, we have lots of dogs.
Okay. I was going to say, I felt like I'm thinking of an animal. So do you know if there's an animal that has a nickname like that that's passed?
Oh, we have a lot of dogs that passed. I don't know if you remember.
Okay. One of them might have like a Bambo or Bambi or Bambi sounding name. Because it's almost like, I want to say it's like BB, but it's like Bambi, Bombi. It's like a nickname.
So it was Tom, Jerry, Scooby, and Gary, and TJ. Those were our dogs.
Nope, this is different. This is... No, it's a BB. It's definitely a BB. So I'll leave that with you, but you might have to ask. It's a BB. I'm almost seeing like a little white, fluffy kind of... It's not a poodle. It's not a Shih Tzu. It's almost like a bijou sound looking dog, but it's got a Bumble bijou. It's got a name like that. So just remember that I said that because it's definitely connected, but I'm seeing a smaller dog. So it's got like the face that's smushed in. They always look like they're mad. So it's a smaller dog.
We had 2 Pekingese, and that was and Jerry. So
Okay, got it. So just know there's another dog he's referring to that's got this B name. If I'm misinterpreting, he could be acknowledging someone who's actually nicknamed that. And then he also showed me the dogs, and I'm putting them together thinking that they're both the same thing. But it's this Bumbo, Bimbo, Bimbi sounding nickname that is referenced there. Okay?
I'll name that, but I'll definitely look into it. One question. So the biggest thing I have is the guilt. And I know he doesn't blame me, but...
Yeah. He blames himself. He blames himself. Because he makes me feel... He blames himself. He's not even wanting you to even take any of that on.
Because I was the one that gave him COVID. I didn't know.
No. He's blaming himself. He's blaming himself. So it doesn't matter whether you gave it to him or not. He's blaming himself. He's not blaming you.
I just feel so guilty.
You know what is interesting? Do you know there was a neighbor around at that time that y'all were interacting with, or he was interacting with?
A neighbor? We have one neighbor, but...
Do you know if they also gotten COVID around the same time?
No one on our street has gotten it.
Okay, just so you know, it wouldn't surprise me if there were other people around him who also had COVID and you're thinking it was you.
Okay.
So even when I go as far as to say that he may not even be wanting to for you to own that you're the one that gave it to him. So it's actually possible somebody else might have given it to him, but you assumed it was you because of the interaction.
Okay.
Okay. But he's not blaming you. So hypothetically, even if you were the one that gave it, he's not blaming you. He says he blames himself. He blames himself. So he doesn't want you to deal with that or to live with that. He says no. It's funny because he's going up to your head and he's like touching your head and he's like, no. So he's like wanting to make sure you do not take this on because he says that you'll break his heart if you live this way. So he doesn't want you to break his heart. Yeah, he says he does not want you to live with this.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. No.
I'm about it.
Yeah, it's understandable. I would understand. I would feel the same way if it were me. I would feel the same way. But he's definitely not wanting you to take that on. So he does not want you to feel that way. He wants you to live your life and to live a full life and to be happy and to think of him when you have your happiest moments. Because he says this is what a parent works towards, is to see their child be happy. And he says, don't rob me of your happiness. I want to see you happy. And if you're going to live your life in this amount of pain and sorrow, he says you're robbing him of all the work that he did as a father to make sure that you could have happiness in your life. So he's wanting to be absolutely clear about that.
Okay, thank you so much.
He's going to give you a silver coin, so look out for silver coins because there's a silver coin that's going to show up. It's silver. So that's going to be a gift from him, and you'll get it when you need to get it the most, but look out for the silver coin.
Okay, and one question with my mom, because when she found out he passed was so quick, she just had a heart attack that day. She's in really bad health. Does he say, or does he know anything I can do to help her? Because she's really bad right now.
Yeah, she actually is suffering from a broken heart. Even though this is a physical heart attack, this is a broken heart. This is what this is that's going on here. And the thing about it is they literally are the soulmate types because he refers to her as the soulmate type. So he's acknowledging her in this way. Soulmates are very rare. People want to think that everybody can be, no, like it's a rarity, and he is acknowledging her as a soulmate. So he's referring to her in this way. He is sending her, he's going to send her robins or a cardinal, so to look out for that as well. He also is playing with her finger or her pinky. So there might be a thing between them where he would play with her finger or her pinky, but he's doing that as well.
They're always holding hands.
Yeah, because he's like playing with her finger or pinky. He also keeps acknowledging, thank you. He's messing fun. He's like, get up, get up. What are you doing? It's almost like, don't sit around, do nothing. Get up, do something, do something. He's like trying to give her a little bit of a kick and like for her to get up and do something because she needs to get into her. He says, focus on your habits, focus on your routine, focus on do something, do it, just do it. So he's wanting to give her that so that she can get up and start to get back into a routine because he wants her to get back to a place where she's okay. And so he says he's still with her. He's not. He says, I'm not going anywhere. There's only so many places I can go. But he says that he is with her. He also says he's tried 3 times to visit her in a dream. So if she's had at least 3 dreams, that is from him. But he says he's already attempted 3 times to reach her in a dream to let her know not to worry and that he was okay, but also that she has, thank you, she has a family to live for and that there are other family members coming into the future. So to look out for this because he says there are more family members to come.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome, sweetheart. Absolutely. No, you're fine, sweetheart. All right, my dear. You take care of yourself.
Thank you so much, Ferny, and I'll see you in the live.
You got it. All right, baby girl.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So that's it. So I'm done. So let me actually I'll answer 2 more questions on the comments, and then I gotta get off and get back on for the study group. Nancy, Giorgio, I think it's Giorgio. I think it's or Gorgio or Giorgio. I think it's Giorgio. Will I change my job and will my family unite again? Yes, I do think you'll change your job, but I think it may not happen for about 7 or 8 months. So it's going to take a little while. If you try to do it before then, either the pieces are not going to line up right, or you may just decide that it's not going to work. But I do see it change in about 7 or 8 months from now. As far as the family uniting again, that's going to be a hard one because I feel that there are going to be 3 people in the family who do come back into the fold. There's still 1 or 2 other people that may not. So I feel like there's going to be still a bit of a split there, but I do expect at least 3 people would be coming back into the fold to be able to help with creating this sense of unity. Okay. All right, guys. I love you all. I'm going to be back in, actually, I have 1 more here. So let me hold on. Oh, thank you. Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate that. PCAT I6. Will my long-term boyfriend and I get married soon? I don't think you'll get married soon. I do think you will get married, but it may not be for another 2, I hate to say it, but I feel like it'll be another 2 years and 7 months or so. So it might take almost 3 years to get there. And that's okay. I mean, it happens. I have a cousin and she and her husband were together for like 6 years before they actually got married. So my partner and I, we've been together for 12, 13, we're going on 13 years. And I think we're going to get married in the next few months just to get it out of the way. Cause I mean, we're pretty much married. It's been long enough. Right. So, but it's not a big deal for me, yeah, but what I would say is, I definitely think that there will be the opportunity for marriage, but it may take about 2 years and 6, 7 or 8 months around there. Okay. All right, guys, I'll be back. I'm going to jump off and then I'm going to take a quick restroom break and I'm going to come back and then we'll get on